There's so much news.
So
Holy
much happened this week.
heck. Hang on, let me
So
just get
much,
this
so
little
much happened.
timestamp.
While you're doing a timestamp, I'll pick the first one. So
Cool.
I guess the first one is something that happened yesterday for us. Gotham Knights, the new Batman game coming from Warner Brothers Montreal.
Gotham
It's not
Knights.
Rocksteady's game. Was delayed till 2022. Game was originally meant to come out later this year, but COVID, and I guess in
All
some weird
sorts of
way,
things.
the response to Cyberpunk last year has kind of like spooked a lot of developers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Warner Brothers just said it's delayed to 2022. No release
Actual reason.
beyond that. Their
Goddamn.
statement is, "We're giving the game more time to deliver the best possible experience for players. We look forward to showcasing more of the game in the coming months." It's kind of, I mean,
I
this kind
mean,
of,
it's
they hadn't shown it since its reveal. So
yeah. I mean, they showed, they didn't do like a gameplay showcase, but it looked like they've got, the system. Well, I suppose the overarching game is there, but I mean, doesn't really show how far the process is.
mm,
So yeah, I think like you've said many times now, like this is an indication of things to come with COVID just really delaying things. Like this is probably the first of a ton of delays to come throughout the year.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's disappointing, but yeah, I think a lot of games, last year the
My
pandemic
goodness.
affected some games already.
Yeah.
A lot of those games were really close to the finish line already.
Yeah.
So it's the games that were a year or two into development and still needed another year or two, that the whole restructure of how the
Mm.
studios work, it's going to affect them the most.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Imran Khan, he shared a tweet where he said he had spoken to some developers and publishers where, like, because the studios are so big and they're only allocated so many dev kits, you know, not all the developers who need dev kits have access to them. So they have to
Yeah.
remote access, PCs and stuff. So there's like actual schedules of like, I am going to need the test kits at this time on this day, blah blah blah. And that like causes just a mad backlog.
It's like a logistics nightmare, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can imagine for AAA development, it's a real fucking like nightmare to deal with. So I'm not surprised. This is definitely not going to be the first one, and I would say not even like 2022 games are going to be safe. So
Am I?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think anything with the release date now, just like take it with a huge grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
going to be interesting to see how it affects first party stuff. Like, will Horizon Zero Dawn still come out this year? You know what I mean?
don't
Uh,
know. Like we're still
yeah,
very
I
early in the year,
get pushed.
so
I could see it get pushed.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, you can take the next one. What you doing?
My god, there's so much news. PSVR 2, I guess. Let's have a look at these interesting looking controllers,
Them
which
all.
as
Yeah.
Noel pointed out, you cannot throw them in anger. 'Cause they look,
Strapped to you.
yeah, they're like stuck to you. I think it's interesting that Sony are showing PSVR this early, given that I think they're only saying it's coming out next year. What I do like about this though is that, well, I mean, this isn't news this week, but the fact that they've said it's going to be like a one cable setup, which I'm very, very down for, because the biggest thing putting me off the original PSVR, is that it was a nightmare to set up, which I'm sure you can confirm is an actual thing.
Yeah. Just like the cameras, the move controllers. Like, again, the PlayStation camera and the move controllers were never designed with VR in
No,
mind. They were
it's
retrofitted
it's
to.
very clever to like leverage them like that. It suddenly makes them relevant again, but yeah, not designed for that purpose.
And that's why these controllers look a lot better to me.
Mm.
Because they remind me a lot of the stuff that Steam, Valve has done with the Index controllers, and also Oculus did with their Oculus Touch controllers. So it kind of like mixes the best of those two controllers into one,
Mm.
where, like the Valve Index, you will have individual finger detection.
Yeah.
So you will be able to pick up movements in your individual fingers, but it's also got the like round design of the Rift.
Mm.
Um, and then also the like sort of like Sony small touches on there. Like it's got adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
Um, it will apparently work without it will the VR headset itself will track the controllers using that ring that's around like your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me indicates that there's no camera this time, that it's going to be like a inside out tracking
Yeah.
solution like the Oculus Rift. So
Which is real cool.
also,
So
yeah, like I mean, they've already said it's not going to be a wireless VR headset, but if it's only one cable connecting to the console and that's it, you like don't have to set up a camera or anything like that.
mm,
That's already
that's a
a
win. Yeah.
huge benefit.
I mean,
So
and the controllers will be wireless though, right? It,
yes, yeah, controllers.
so if it's just your headset, then I mean, we don't know what that looks like, but yeah, I
Mm.
think it's cool that they're getting the ball rolling, and it looks cool. Like I like the
It does,
controllers.
yeah,
So
distinct as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the big addition here is thumbsticks because
yeah,
the Move didn't have thumbsticks, so you were restricted to that whole like teleporting
mm,
kind of movement in games. And since then I've played a lot on the Oculus Rift or on the Quest, and I played like Half-Life Alex with using thumbsticks to move around, and
mm,
not always the most comfortable for some people, but if you do get comfortable with it, it's the most natural feeling thing in VR. And
yeah,
PSVR originally not having that was just like it just sucked.
yeah,
So yeah, that's cool. I think the reason they're showing this now is because the PS blog says that they're taking it, or developers are getting it soon. So I guess they were just like, well, we don't want this to
to
leak.
leak. Yes, let's just get the ball rolling.
Yeah, yeah, that made
Okay,
no sense to me.
you pick the next
Um,
story. Mm-hmm.
Staying with Sony, Sony partnered up with another company to basically purchase Evo, the biggest fighting game tournament series in the world.
Where did I have that story? I had it opened up here somewhere.
So yeah, wild. Sony's working in tandem with an esports venture called RTS, and they're basically now the partners with Evo to kind of keep the tournament going.
Yeah, there it is. Hilarious. Yeah, it's quite a. I don't know. It still strikes me as a very interesting purchase because like I don't know. Sony make games, but now they own a massive organization that does esports fighting
Mhm.
esports. Which I think you made the comments like, well, what does this mean for Smash at Evo?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
happens to all these other like? Look, I don't think that'll happen, right? It's just Sony owns them. Doesn't mean they'll. Well, we don't know, but I don't think they'll be like it's only Sony games, Sony
Yeah,
fighting
I
games.
think Sony would be stupid to try and do
Yeah,
that. 'Cause, I mean, the fighting game scene would just, I mean, it would not work out. Like, Sony
no,
doesn't have that library, so and I think Evo going into this would not sign a deal that allowed them to do that because it
yeah,
makes no sense for Evo as a tournament. But GameSpot did talk to Nintendo, who
oh
gave a
yeah,
statement saying Nintendo's enjoyed engaging with fans at past Evo tournaments and wish the show organizes the best with their new venture. We will
hmm.
continue to assess Evo and other opportunities as we plan for future online and offline Super Smash Bros. Tournament activity.
I mean, I,
That to me sounds like good luck.
yeah, it's like we're gonna go do our own Smash tournament.
Yeah, yeah. If I had to put money on it, that's Nintendo going, yeah, we're not going to deal with that. But that could be that might not be a case of Sony getting involved. Last year there were all those allegations against the long running leadership at Evo, um, Joey Kula,
Yeah, it's
sexual
this
harassment
article actually says it's
allegations.
yeah,
And like, does Nintendo want to be associated with that? No,
no,
probably not.
probably
So
not. Yeah,
yeah, I think this is the best shot for Evo to continue in a year where it was rocked by that, and the pandemic really had a huge impact on it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I hope it continues because I know it's so important for the fighting game community.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the fighting game tournaments that
Mm.
everyone looks forward to. What else? Let me just close this. Oh well, in keeping with Sony news, because we're such Sony shills,
Mm.
Sony is giving away a bunch of free games over the next few weeks, which includes Horizon Zero Dawn in April, if
With
I'm not mistaken, with the DLC. Yeah, I think it's the 22nd of April. Oh no, and 19th of April.
yeah, somewhere around there.
But that list of free games includes Abzu, Into the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, The Witness, Thumper, Paper Beast, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and Moss. I
Oof.
think those last 3 or 4 are VR only. I
Uh,
know
Paper Beast is only VR. Astro's only VR. Moss is
Moss
only
only VR.
VR.
Yeah,
I think Res Infinite might also only be VR. I might be
I'm
wrong
not
about that.
sure.
Yeah,
Still, that's
a
quite
lot of
a
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
some really good. I mean, there's a bunch I haven't played there. I've heard great things about Subnautica. I've heard awesome things about Into the Gungeon. Abzu's, is it the art director of Journey who worked on
art
it? Yeah.
made a new studio. Yeah, and then so it's basically Underwater Journey.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. If you,
Thumper.
it's a good time to be a gamer because like between Epic giving away free games on PC all the time, Sony now giving away free games, and like Game Pass. I mean, like
And these are not tied behind PS Plus. This is part of Sony's Play at Home initiative. So the games will go up for redemption during a certain period, and if you redeem them, they are
they're
yours.
just
They
yours to
are
keep.
tied to
Yeah.
your account. That's it. No PS Plus needed, no nothing. Just don't be silly and don't redeem them. You know what I mean? But yeah, Thumper from that list. Thumper is the one that. Holy shit! More people need to play that game because it's so good.
Thumper.
It's
Does it
like
slap?
yo, it's it's like heavy electro rhythm based game. It's just
Mm,
so good. It's got some of the best game feel out there. It's really, really,
nice.
yeah.
So yeah, if you got a
And
PS,
VR, that game in VR is transcendent.
my
It's really,
goodness, it's like being on speed.
it is like on speed. Wow.
What do you want to talk about?
Sticking with Sony,
My God,
I think this is the last bit of Sony news. Yeah. Um, Assassin's Creed co-creator Jade Raymond has formed a new studio, Haven Entertainment Studios. They are independent. They're not owned by Sony, but they have entered a publishing deal with Sony, and she will be spearheading a new IP for them. So
yeah,
think of it as the same thing as Hideo Kojima and Death Stranding.
yeah,
Death Stranding was a PlayStation exclusive at launch, but his studio is not owned by Sony,
yeah,
and I mean, it ended up coming out on PC, published by someone else. So I think that's the same sort of thing here. Jade Raymond, if you're not familiar, she co-created Assassin's Creed with Patrice Désilets at
mm,
Ubisoft. I think her last Ubisoft project was Splinter Cell Blacklist in 2013, and after that, she left and spearheaded a studio called EA Motive, who helped with some Star Wars Battlefront stuff. They were working on a new IP that got cancelled. Yeah, just not a great time.
so all of the
She
things.
she then served as the head of Stadia Games and Entertainment at Google before Google shut down all the internal development studios in February. Um, she had left, I think, just prior to that. So yeah, now she's just, Jade Raymond deserves to put out a game.
Yeah,
One of the most recognizable designers in the industry, and yeah, she deserves a break, I think. So
goddamn,
I feel the same as like Amy Hennig. Like after Uncharted, Amy Hennig
it
was
just
doing the Star
hasn't.
Wars thing at Visceral, and I think she's working
Yeah,
on an IP now at another studio. Like they both deserve just to catch a break.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah. Next piece of news. I suppose we can jump to let's give Xbox some love. Where Outriders is this article says looks like Outriders might be coming to Game Pass, but it is confirmed that it is in fact coming to Game Pass
mhm.
as a day one launch, I guess. So Outriders, not in April's. I love every piece of communication I've read about Outriders has always started with because it launches on April 1st. It says, "This is not a joke. Outriders is coming to Game Pass." So, I mean, I haven't played the demo, so I can't say like, "Yay, I'm really excited for this game," whatever. But I think it's just a really cool deal. Like Game Pass, we all know that Microsoft games and our Bethesda games will be like day one, available on Game Pass. It's just such a neat service where it's like literally the Netflix of games, where on day one you can just get this brand new title. It's not just this backlog of like hits from yesterday or whatever. Like there's 100% sprinklings of these brand new titles. And Outriders is a game where I don't know if it'll be good. I don't know if it'll be bad, but it's free on Game Pass. So like, why wouldn't you try it? Like, what do you have to lose if you've got a subscription? So
No,
yeah,
100%. I honestly think this also just gives Outriders the best chance it has.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
launch.
It's like instant player base. You know?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I've seen people already like, well, wasn't going to try this out, but I mean, now that it's just a download, I
Mm,
might as well. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's sadly not included on PC. It's only on Xbox. Um, but yeah, I mean, Game Pass continues to be awesome.
yeah.
So
I
good
mean,
news.
just on Game Pass. So Xbox Game Pass for PC now has EA Play.
Finally, God.
So EA Play is basically EA's own subscription service, which is a bonus perk if you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. Although on PC you don't have to be an Ultimate subscriber. I think if you've got Xbox Game Pass for PC, you just get EA Play, if
Yes,
I'm not
that's
mistaken.
correct.
So that if you have Xbox Game Pass for PC, you suddenly have access to games like Battlefield 5 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And you said you have downloaded Star Wars Squadrons, which came out like not even 6 months
You're
ago.
getting the big one though. You get access to Anthem.
The Anthem. To get access, you get access to The Sims. Okay, let's be real here. I'm
It's
sure that's on EA Play.
a great thing that it's just bundled in because it used to be its own subscription service. And I
Mm,
mean, I was subscribed to it for a while on PC. It was like $50 a month. But it just being included with the Game Pass is great. It also gives you access to, so I actually don't know if this is part of the Xbox stuff as well, but I know when I was subscribed on PC, um, when a new game came out, you could play it for 10 hours.
yeah.
And that's how I played Anthem for 7 hours and then realized that I never wanted to play Anthem ever again. Uh, so yeah, I don't know if that's included with that. There's
I
also
I
on
believe
PC.
I have to believe it will be though, right?
I think it will be because like I think you also get a discount on games that you
Mm,
trial like that, and also your progress carries over.
mm,
On PC, EA still has EA Play Premium, I think it's called. I don't know,
mm.
which is basically like EA's full on Game Pass. It's like
Yeah.
every you get unlimited access
That's
to.
and that's day one as well. Like that's how I played Fallen Order. I, I subscribed for a month, played it, and then
Like
unsubscribed.
$150 for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. It's a bit of a weird process getting it set up on PC because you have to download the EA Play app, then you have to subscribe there, then you have to go into the Xbox app, find an EA game, hit that, then it prompts the EA Play thing, and if you haven't linked the two accounts, then you have to link them there.
My
So
goodness.
I had to close and reopen the apps every now and then because they weren't recognizing that they were like handshaking with each other. So if you are running into that thing where that happens, I also have the issue on this Xbox app because I created an Xbox Live account ages ago before Xbox Live was
A
supported in
thing.
South Africa.
Yeah.
So I have a separate Hotmail address
I
to
know.
the one that use on my PC as my main profile. So
Yeah.
every time I open the Xbox app, it's like, yo, there's two profiles here. What's going on? And I'm just like, no, use this one for this app. And
Mm,
every time I do that, it's like, you should resubscribe to Game Pass. I'm like, I am
no.
subscribed. Close the app and reopen it and fucking mess.
My God.
You're merged two accounts, so I'll never be able to
Yeah.
escape from this issue. But yeah, that's just my 30-second rant about how fucking terrible that part of it.
Nice. Well,
Yes.
I mean, I suppose that is a great segue to bounce over to. So getting those systems to talk to each other, okay, that's a headache. Let's talk
Mm.
about Marvel's Avengers here for a hot
Jesus.
second. Okay, so before we get to that, okay, I think was this at the Square Enix showcase that we touched on earlier, which we still have to actually get to. We'll get to that. But they basically laid out a roadmap for Avengers, and well, we'll get there, which includes, there's some Hawkeye content, there's a whole lot of other bits and pieces, but I think the biggest one people are most excited for is probably War for Wakanda, which will introduce Black Panther to the game,
Yeah.
which I think is especially special because of, what happened to Chadwick last year. I think it was actually pushed out because of his death. So I think people are very excited to play that. And look, whether it'll get people to play Avengers, I don't know. I still think it'll be an interesting piece of content. We'll just have to
I'm
wait and see.
keen enough to like re-download it and give it a go at that point.
Yeah, likewise. It also brought about news that Spider-Man is still coming, but he was
Delayed.
planned for summer, I think 2021, but delayed. But I think the biggest shit show.
Enix really fucked that whole situation up, right? Because
that's just
there's no way that works out, like in a good way. Like either Spider-Man comes out and it's been like more than a year,
yeah.
and then it's exclusive to PlayStation, and then he's awesome. So then you've got a game that's already struggling for an audience. Now you've pissed off like
You've
2/3 of that
segregated, yeah.
audience. And then the other situation is that he comes out and the character sucks, and then PlayStation players are like, well, why did we wait for this? And then no one is happy. So
Everyone loses, yeah. I don't know. This game is
a dumb idea.
This game is very, sorry to say, very fast approaching being the next Anthem, which I never want a game to fail. Like never.
Man,
but this whole thing now, so it's out on next gen consoles. If you have an Xbox, you just download the game on your next, your current Xbox Series X, Series S. I think you probably sync with the cloud or you do some sorcery. Your game's there.
Hey, you just launch the game and
you just launch the game. It's there. Okay.
Yeah,
on PlayStation though, okay, ready for this? You have to. So let's take me for example. I've packed up my PS4. It's just it doesn't exist anymore. It's in the cupboard. If I want to play this game in PS5, which I would, I want to play the Black Panther expansion, for example, one day when it launches. I'd have to get my PlayStation out, re-download Avengers, launch the game, have it like patch in game, sync with the cloud, and only then I can now play my PS5 version, which makes like no sense.
You have to launch the game and manually tell it to upload.
Yeah, sorry, manually up. Yeah, you have to manually sync it to the cloud, and then only then on PS5.
I mean, you could download the PS4 version on your PS5.
Why would you do that?
You still have to go through that whole process.
Okay, so I wouldn't need my PS4, but still, I'd need to re-download the game.
You'd have to launch the PS5 version before you delete the PS4 version and then bring down your save. If you exist on Twitter or if you read gaming news, which for both parts is the minority of video game players, like you probably saw a tweet or an article and you're like, cool, I need to remember that, and do it.
Yeah.
But what about, like you said, for the people like you and me, I deleted that shit because I need space. Now I just want to try out the new update. Am I going to go through that whole process to get my save? Not a fucking chance.
Yeah, probably not.
And regular people who get the upgrade, they just download the game and they're like, well, where's my progress? Like, what's happened?
Yeah.
They have no idea, what's going on.
What's going on?
The thing that bugs me the most about this is that this is a live service game. Why is this even a thing?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Destiny does not have this issue on any console because
Yeah.
all of that server side, like the games that have had this issue on PS5, because for some reason some games can get around this with no issue, is like Spider-Man Remastered, which is the most mind-blowing one because it's first party. Crash Bandicoot 4 was the same thing. But like other games just don't have this issue. So why is it some and not the other? And then why does a live service game have a local save for your campaign progress? Why is that shit not in the cloud with your character levels and your gear? Because there's not a chance that shit is saved locally.
I don't know. You're asking me all these questions. I have no answer. My goodness.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla doesn't have this issue, and that is a single player game.
That blew my mind because I thought when I got my PS5, I was playing Assassin's Creed on the PS4 and I had to switch over. I thought I'd have to do some, you know, hoop jumping to get it working, and I didn't. I just downloaded Valhalla, booted
Valhalla
it up.
has a system that is simpler than this that lets you take your save to other fucking platforms.
My
And
goodness.
come on,
I mean,
man.
come on. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
so
It's like if this wasn't a Marvel game, it would be dead. Like, yeah,
no,
it's
no, the game. You know, I want to boot up this thing on PS5,
oh,
but I
someone's
know
so
we are
mad.
but I
Okay,
just
well,
let's
we're going to bounce over to the good side of the Square Enix showcase, which was, I mean, okay, we're going to have to fly through this news.
mm.
Well,
Well, the
let's.
showcase itself was kind of like they didn't focus on many.
No, no, no. I'm talking about other stuff. So maybe we should just get out the way quickly of um, Dying Light 2
Oh
is
yeah,
still coming this year, apparently.
yeah. They teased this whole big like announcement, like because they haven't spoken about the game since January 2020. And earlier this week, the developers were saying,
Wow.
"Yeah, we revealed this game way too early." Um, but yeah, they put out a video basically saying it was a 2-minute video. They hyped up for a week a 2-minute video of them being like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about it later this year," which was kind of weird to me. But at the
Okay.
end of the trailer, they just had 2021 there, so I guess it's still coming this
I
year.
Well, I would love for it to come out this year because we spoke about this last week. Actually, I think maybe it was the teaser we spoke.
Probably.
I'm keen for Dying Light 2. I really enjoy Dying Light 1. So, bam. Fortnite season 6. Fortnite was it?
Trailer. Holy
My
shit!
God. Yeah, Fortnite chapter 2 season 6. So this trailer,
Wow.
if you've been sleeping on a rock, Fortnite has brought every like major franchise under the sun into their game as like a skin. So you can boot up Fortnite and you can go get a Kratos skin or Master Chief skin or an Alien skin or like a
You
Street
from
Fighter skin. Now this, so they've launched season 6 now, which is like their latest season, whatever. But they launched it with a trailer that basically brought a whole lot of these characters into one epic cinematic, which you said was directed by
the Russo
the Ru-
brothers who directed Avengers. Yeah. Wow.
I can't even deal with this. I mean, what timeline do we live in where movie directors are busy? My goodness,
And
let me
apparently
just flip over here.
they worked with the team at
That is not
Epic
the
Games
right
to
thing.
write the character arcs for the rest of the season. So
I mean, just
yeah,
look.
I mean, this is a cinematic where Ryu Hadokens the banana Fortnite man and kills him. So it's real good. It's real
I don't
fun.
know, but Fortnite is one of those games where like I have to go revisit this one day. Like I'd love to play Fortnite again. Oh, and the reason
I opted for a second just to when they put in the Mandalorian content,
mm,
and I had no fucking clue what was going on in that game. I was like, what are all these new things? It's a whole thing. I
it's
think if you're
crazy.
invested in that game, it must be so fun because there's
Yeah, it
so much
just
shit added all the time.
yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, here we go. Here's the moment of dead. But
It's
what's interesting is that so season 6 is obviously bringing a whole lot of new content, which interestingly enough includes Tomb Raider stuff because Tomb Raider
mm,
are celebrating, it's the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. So Lara Croft is going to be a skin, but not just any skin. I think there's like the modern version of her, there's a retro version of her.
and
And I don't know if that's in this article, but I did see this week that they are also adding the um, Croft Mansion as an
yeah,
area in Fortnite. Like, that's just cool, man. Like, come on.
it's
Fortnite
cool.
is just this big playground where they can literally touch anything and make it sense in their world, which is really cool. So,
It's a thing, and Noelle was actually saying that she really likes the design, the way they've Fortnited Lara Croft in a
yeah.
way. I think the
I
design,
think
you can see which of the 3 periods each character is referring to,
mm,
but at the same time, it's stylized, like, so
that
well. It's
that Fortnite style is real good. I think
mm,
you can put any character in that style and they'll look good. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's who's this character? Do
I
you
have
know?
no idea.
No
I have
idea.
no
Okay,
idea.
maybe that's a Fortnite thing. I was like, I don't recognize this character. Okay,
That
but
was
that's Fortnite. We've spoken about Black Panther. I suppose just quickly, Xbox is doing an indie game showcase
this
this week,
coming
I
week.
suppose.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Stalker
Oh,
2 footage. Stoked.
nice.
I'm hyped for Stalker.
Yeah, just more games coming, and it's just really. I mean, we spoke about this at the top of the show about where do indies show their games. Xbox is
Mhm.
doing an indie show, so yeah. And I suppose let's end with this little nugget of the Square Enix showcase. So we've touched on a bunch of stuff already, right? Like, okay, we didn't touch on Life is Strange has a new game coming out called True Colors.
Mhm. Um,
Don't
so
not
a
latest
remaster of the first
and the
game,
first
and
game, yeah.
I'm
Uh,
keen for the. I never played the first game, so
did you did
um,
you did you not play the first game?
no, I haven't played any of them.
I played the first chapter of the first game and I really liked it. I just never finished it for some reason.
I've
I don't
always
know.
heard they're really good,
Mm,
especially the first one.
yeah,
I heard more good things about that than the second, because it's the first one, then a prequel, then the second one.
yeah.
So yeah,
What's
this is the third one, but they were all self-contained stories,
yeah.
just within the same universe.
What's cool with so the next one's called True Colors. What people might be very happy to is that it's not episodic. It's
Yes,
just going to launch and you can play the whole thing in
I
one
think
one
that's really
go.
what killed the second one. The gap
Yeah.
between episodes was ridiculous. So
I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, right? Like I remember playing Telltale games like The Walking Dead, for example. I actually kind of enjoyed the gap between episodes because it gave me something to look forward to. But I completely understand how it can like be well. It doesn't work if there's too big a gap
yeah,
between the
that's exactly
releases.
it.
Yeah,
Like, Telltale's first few games didn't have that. It was like every month a new episode.
yeah.
As soon as that started taking on more and more and more
It
games, the
just
gaps
fell
became
apart.
like
Yeah,
3 months. It was just too much. Like it, yeah.
yeah. So they also showed some Outriders, which we said is coming to Game Pass.
Hmm.
Balan Underworld, which
Bella, it's meant to be Bell in
it's
Wonderworld,
Balan.
but
Like, this is. I can't believe you did me like this, Darren.
I mean, it's right there in the trailer.
I mean, Balan Underworld. I don't know. This game, from initial
It's fucking
impression,
terrible.
seems that it is hot garbage, which is sad because when the trailer when it was revealed, was it last year? Sometimes like it doesn't look like it's my jam, but I can see it being a thing like an IP or whatever. Does not seem like it's a good time,
Yeah,
but
but it's so bad.
the game's not
It's
out, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
out this week, so
We'll see. We've touched on Tomb Raider. It's Laura's 25th anniversary, which means you can play as her in Fortnite and you can buy her cookbook, which
yeah.
has, you
No new
know,
game.
just
Cookbook.
just a cookbook. Oh, and I suppose, like we've mentioned before, there's a trilogy
Yeah,
with
it's like packaged all
the
the
reboot trilogy,
but
which
they're not remastered or anything.
no, but I
Games.
mean,
Yeah.
look, they're not that old to begin with,
Yeah,
so
that's
the
also true.
the trilogy is real good. Like I'm not fond of Shadow of the Tomb. Well, not fond of it. To me, it's more Tomb Raider.
Can you
But
believe it came out on PS3?
what?
Mm-hmm.
Which one came on PS3? The original reboot. My goodness, that's
Wow,
crazy.
that
We've touched on Marvel's Avengers. Just Cause is getting a mobile game.
good luck to that. That game hardly runs well on consoles. I can't imagine its
It's gonna run a
destruction.
mobile.
Good. That's all I can say.
I think is Hitman Snipers Assassins also a mobile game?
Yeah, this is super weird though, because like Square Enix were the ones that were like, we don't want to make more Hitman, and IO Interactive was like, okay, and they basically took the Hitman IP away with them,
And
and
that
Hitman 2
is
and 3.
real good now. Yeah, I mean, not that it wasn't good, but
I'm
the
sure
last
Square
games have
Enix
just been
paid them a bunch to use an IP that they previously owned,
that's
because
insane.
it's being made by Square Enix Montreal, not by IO.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, then as Darren said, is saving the best for last. Square Enix showed off a game. So just remind me, Project Athia was what was showed with was it the Epic? Eh?
No.
Is that
So
separate, right? It's a different thing.
yeah, so
But
the Epic Tech demo is its own thing.
okay,
That
because I wasn't sure because there's this one shot where I'm like, that looks so familiar. But where did they show? They did tease this. I remember them teasing this.
PS5 reveal.
Was it the PS5 reveal? Okay.
it was a
Um,
PS5 thing, and they were like, "Oh, it's exclusive to PS5," and then the trailer said PC as well, and people were like, "Wait, what?" Uh, but
but of
it's using
course.
the same engine as Final Fantasy 15, the Luminous engine.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it was called Project Athia, and it was a whole big thing. Was like, oh, this cannot work on any other console because it's making exclusive use of PS5. I say never take that sort of shit seriously because like Google said that the latest Bomberman would only work on cloud infrastructure and it's not coming to consoles. So
I
people
mean,
lie. You know, marketing is
if
marketing.
you
So
take one lesson from this podcast, it's that people lie.
maybe it will turn out to be true, but you can never take that at face value. Anyway, it is only coming to PS5 and PC at launch, which is apparently in 2022, but it's now called the Forspoken. And holy shit, this game looks good.
So
Like,
you sent this trailer on WhatsApp. So I didn't watch the Square Enix showcase because I think was it Thursday.
yeah.
Yes, I was like gearing to stream whatever, so I just never watched it. You dropped this trailer, you're like, holy shit, like look at this game. And then
Mm.
I watched it the next day. And so for people who are actually watching on YouTube, you looking at it now, we see the actress who's playing the main character, and we see this little cinematic with a dragon. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why are you so excited about this game? Like it
It
looks, it's
it's
literally
weird 'cause it's like a normal person in like a mythical
yeah.
world.
I'm like the setting's cool. Okay, that's cool. Then they showed like this fancy little animation, which is the game
Its name,
logo, whatever the name. I'm like, I don't get the hype. I really don't get why you're so excited for this game. And they reveal, look, it's Forspoken. Like, wow, it's got a name now. And in the last 10 seconds of the trailer, they smack you with some actual gameplay, and you go, holy shit, this looks awesome.
yeah, just the like the traversal. You like sprinting through areas and teleporting and
My
jumping
God, it looks
and the
real
areas just look
good.
incredible. Just
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. You
stoked.
that So if you've watched the trailer and you pull the me and you're like, it doesn't look that good, just watch the
Just go to
last
the
10,
last 10
15
seconds. Yeah.
seconds and you go, I mean, not that it doesn't look good. I was just like, it's a trailer. Like we haven't even seen gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real
It
good.
reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy 15, like the desolate
Mm,
like areas
yeah.
right there. Yeah.
So yeah, that's 2022. And I think that is a good way for Square Enix to end their little showcase. I mean, I think there were sprinklings of some good things here. And yeah, I suppose that's news for the week. There was a bunch to get through.